September 1st, runs through the 15th. This year, you're allowed to have 15 mourning doves and white wings, of which no more than 10 can be white wings. So we're going to talk about that. And then the second season's coming up on November 21st through January 4th. But Tyson's in a particular area where there's a world of doves. Obviously, a world of dove hunters. There's been quite a few areas that have been inundated by dove hunters. Maricopa was one. Gable Ming was another. Our good friend Dustin Fetter out there had just crazy ones. And David Lanford was having issues. He called me as well. So anyway, we're going to talk about that. Going through, we're going to miss Chris Rich today. He's in the mountains someplace, goofing around. He did send some pictures of one of his customers with a giant grass carp in the canal. We'll see if we can get that posted up. You can join us on YouTube today until we get the Facebook thing figured out. There may be attorneys and lions and tigers involved in that before we get done, but trust me, it's going to get fixed. Captain Bill will be with us. He's on the horizon. They're headed home. The fish counts are pretty light for today, but we'll get into that with Captain Bill. The only thing I want to say is the yellowfin are showing up, starting to show up in numbers. And guess what? They show up, the monsoon comes. Imagine that.
Yeah.
So, Noah, open the window right before you do the weather report. Look outside and tell us what's going on. You know, they've been predicting, and so far they haven't been right. So, have you had much rain down around Painted Rock?
We've had rain all the way around us at Painted Rock, but not actually on the farm. We're
Perfect.
We're due, but we haven't had the all around, but not here.
When it comes, oh baby.
It will.
Yeah.
We're due. We're due.
Yeah.
We haven't had any of the washes running over 2 years. Seriously.
That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Well, have you had any rain? You don't care. Okay, never mind.
I mean, well, actually, I do care because I know when the big monsoons come, typically it kind of pushes the dove out, and luckily it's held off. I say every year, as long as the rain holds off until September 16th, I'm happy.
Yeah, but it doesn't do that. You know, RC and I were talking about that every year. A day or two before dove season, here comes the storms, chases the white wings off, and the bad part of the storms right before dove season, the snakes seem to be out early in the more so than without the storms. So you got to be careful. Well, I can tell you firsthand out by Apache Junction, you got to tap. If it's been raining the next day, you got to be tiptoeing around with a shovel. Trust me.
You know, this is the first season I've gone dove hunting that I haven't seen a rattler.
Really?
Yeah. I'm out off the 303 in Lake Pleasant Parkway, and every year I've seen at least one rattlesnake. And this year I've gotten kind of ballsy. Took my Malinois, my multi-$1,000 dog out to go do some hunting with us, and luckily I trained him to not.
Well,
be around
if you're taking a bite dog, you don't need to take a shotgun.
No. Well, I mean, the dog's not grabbing the birds out of the air for me, so I got to hit the shotgun. Yet. I got that Malinois for the security agency, but I'm training him to do some hunting as well and be a multi-purpose dog.
Oh, geez, my buddy and your buddy too, Jim Lawrence, has got one of those things, and that dog's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a beautiful dog. And for Jim, I mean, it's got a handler and been to this school, been to that school. She went to the I Hate Don McDowell school. I'm serious.
Yeah. My girl, she calls our dog a Demogorgon. I don't know if you know what Demogorgon is or not. You ever seen that TV show Stranger Things?
No.
Yeah. So a Demogorgon is like the monster that literally eats everything like a black hole. So, yeah. I had just bought a brand new ottoman for the house.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, about 3 weeks before we decided to get the dog, and I should have waited to get it until after the dog was out of puppy stage, which will never happen because it's a Belgian Malinois. So brand new leather ottoman. Yeah, it's basically a purse now.
The only place that I go that I don't have problem with ranch or farm dogs is Tyson's.
Yeah.
Yeah, the dogs come over and say hi, and that's it, you know. But I went up to Mike Ganusio, Middle Water Ranch in January, and I get out of the truck, and this dog comes flying out of the headquarters house, runs past my right leg, bites me, makes me bleed, tears my pants, spins around and sits down and goes, "What?"
He tore your pants, huh?
Okay, yeah.
So he knew you wanted some booty cutters.
Stop it. Stop it. So
That's a visual.
Right
that's
before,
that's not a good visual.
no,
that's not
especially with my snake boots. So what I did moving forward, I got this big box of milk bones from Amazon.com. It's in the back seat. So when I go to get it out of the truck and here comes the dog, I've got at least one, maybe two milk bones in there, and the dog's going to bite me. And he looks like, "Oh, what do you got?" So now we're friends. In Gary Vincent's, he's got 4 dogs down there. I pull up before I turn the truck off. All 4 dogs are sitting down there in a row, wagging their tail, wagging their tongue, waiting to see what I get out of the truck with.
Lined up.
So it works,
Yeah.
except on your dog.
Have you come in the shop to see my dog? Oh, that's right. He actually that's
I
right. He
have,
jumped
yeah.
in your truck as soon as I told him to search.
Yeah.
So
Go.
he came over next door to Q's Taylor to
What did he find?
nothing.
Oh,
you know,
okay, good.
But,
Okay, just double checking.
yeah, but I told him to, and you see, he's got a lifted truck, and my Malinois is only 7 months old, but he's a big 7-month-old.
Yes,
He's
that's
twice
a
the
big
size
dog.
of the average Malinois, and I told him, I said, "Hey, get in there and search," and so he jumps right in there. I didn't realize Don was going to be turning around to grab something out of the truck, so he's standing on top of Don's back in the truck.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, that's-
I'm like, Jesus, come on.
good boy, good boy. Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
Luckily, Don's a good sport about it. So
You have to. It's got teeth. You got to be nice. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, I don't know if that. How old is the dog?
7 months.
Whoa.
Yep, just turned 7 months on the 21st.
Yeah, and
Of
what
last
kind of school has it been to?
The school of me.
Okay.
Yeah. I've been training dogs since I was 14 years old.
Oh, really?
So, yep. This is the first one I've done for apprehension and bite work, but there's no different, honestly, than training a hunting dog. You just got to train it for what it's used for, and be redundant and consistent, as well as having that repetition. It's all about that conditioned response. So Pavlov's theory of with the dogs, they hears a bell ring and it starts assimilating that bell ringing because they fed them the meat powder and start making them salivate. So it's conditioned response is the best way to train a dog. So I don't even use treats. I do everything through affection and attention.
Boy, I do.
Me too, but I'm not a dog, thankfully.
Yeah. Yeah, I know those milk bones they're pretty dry, but if you dip them in a beer, they're pretty tasty.
I bet I probably taste a little bit better than some JD.
Yeah, they're okay. Yeah, okay. You got it. What?
No,
It's
if you're hungry, you're hungry, right?
it's the things you learn.
Yeah.
So, how many dove hunters did you have?
We had about 40 vehicles down there on opening morning. It was a little more than I thought. So
So 40 vehicles times 2 times 3.
there was a good crowd, and everyone was pretty well behaved. We had a couple of knuckleheads, but the best part of the morning was about 6:15. Saw a pickup coming down the road really, 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 really fast, and I was like, "Who is this guy?" And it was my father-in-law.
Oops.
No, it was awesome. I got to hunt with my father-in-law, and we had the best time, and I thoroughly enjoyed that. I didn't know we talked about it, but he didn't call and say he was coming, so I thought he wasn't, and he showed up, and we had a really good time.
That's great.
So
And you got to go out. Where'd you go?
Yeah, so I took my son and the dog out. The dog's first time ever hunting, so I'm training him up on dove hunting or just bird hunting in general. We went off of
Is he
303.
pretty good around firearms?
Oh yeah, I started him on firearms when he was 9 weeks old. He was biting my pant leg as my friends were shooting. That way I get him bomb proofed. So because last thing I want an apprehension dog to do is let go of somebody, that's shooting at me just because they hear a gunshot. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, we went out off of 303 and Lake Pleasant Parkway, right there just north of Carefree Highway off of New River Road.
Okay. Yeah. Did you do well?
I did. We did well for the purpose. The purpose wasn't really for me to hunt as much as it was to get the dog kind of used to the hunting itself.
Sure.
So
Well, we've got to flip into a break. You go down during the break. Go down to the truck, get your dog, bring him up here.
oh, he's at home. He would tear these cords up in here in a heartbeat. Like I said, Demogorgon.
Okay, I'm just checking to find out where the hell that dog is, because eventually we have to go outside.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to flip into a hard break here at Fox Sports 910. I'm here with Tyson and Chase, and thank God his dog's not here. Where's Jim's dog? We'll be right back. you've got your electronic shooting range and your security company, the Outdoor Extreme Club, all that. What are you up to?
Well, so I'm actually the security agency is doing a lot better and it's expanding. You know, I'm picking up a lot of clients. I'm hiring.
World's
more
not a
people.
safe place.
It's really not. So I'm actually getting out of the retail side of things with the Apex Outdoors. I'm going to continue the Firearms Academy with Apex Firearms. Eventually, I'm going to absorb that into ACE because, you know, security, you know, still deals with shooting and first aid, stuff like that. But I'm eventually going to absorb Apex into ACE. But I'm getting out of the retail side because trying to run a store and operate a security agency at the same time and stuff. So I'm actually doing
You're not wired for being a retailer or a shopkeeper. Let's say.
I'm not, honestly.
That'd be like putting Tyson in a 7-Eleven behind the counter for 10 hours a day. No,
No.
not happening.
You know, honestly, you know, I have a hard time even sitting still behind a desk calling these CEOs and messaging, you know, the COOs and setting up meetings and stuff with these influencers and actors and athletes and stuff. And it's I don't like being behind the desk. You know, that's why I said I worked last night. I worked last night because I like to get out there and do grunt stuff still, you know, keep my skills sharp. And plus also, how can you lead a team if you don't know what your team is doing? That's how I look at it. So
That's right.
And I don't look at myself as a boss. I look at myself as a leader. I look at myself as one of them. You know, I'm no better than them. The
Nope.
only difference is I qualify to run an agency. So, but as far as the retail side goes, I'm actually doing a blowout sale. I'm selling everything in the store. So, you know, getting rid of everything, 50% off, you know, doing a huge blowout sale. Everything in the store is 50% off for the exception of the body armor and the plate carriers because you remember Trey that we had on the show here. That's done through him out in Apache Junction with CS Armor. So obviously I can't sell his stuff at half price, but I do stuff on consignment out there. But everything else in store, I'm selling 50% off, you know, just to get rid of it. That way I can focus on the security side of things.
Of course.
And go more tactical. Eventually I'll have holsters and duty, you know, ammunition. Eventually get my FFL to do, you know, pistols and shotguns for security and law enforcement. But and pepper gels, you know, stuff for like uniform type stuff, kind of like 511 stuff. But yeah, Apex is on its way out as far as the retailer goes. I'm still going to do the shooting academy and all that stuff. Like I said, Ace will eventually absorb all that, though.
Of course. What about your activity with the veteran community?
So I still do that. I still partner with Arizona Elk Society. I was actually just out there at their elk clinic that they had out here in Mesa last month. Went out there, did some stuff.
That was well attended from what I heard.
Yes, it was very well attended. The hunting that we did last year was very good. I didn't actually use them for the I take that back. I did use them to partner with to get vets from them for the dove hunt. But as far as the duck hunt went and some of the other, you know, little over-the-counter hunts, I took some vets out free of charge, using, you know, the funds that I bring in. This year I haven't had anything scheduled. I've just been so busy. I want to get something scheduled for duck hunting this year still. It just, you know, takes a lot of work, and I'm trying to, you know, be a divorced single father, run 2 companies, and do a nonprofit stuff. It's hard work. So
let me go back to Tyson. Did you have any vets this year? I know you're catered to the veteran community as much as you possibly can. Was there any guys down there goofing around? Hunting, I'm sorry.
There's a group of Marines that come out of Yuma every year.
Gee, what could go wrong?
I didn't see them this year. Their normal spot, there was a bunch of, I went up to talk to them, and they were retired law enforcement. So they didn't know the previous group, so I thought maybe they were tied together because they were in the kind of the same spot they were the year before. But the group of guys out of Yuma didn't show up, so maybe they'll be here this weekend.
Yeah, you never know.
So, but no, it was well attended. We do work with No Excuse Hunting. Dan Ferraro, he it's amazing. He's blind, and he hosts different folks that come out, and amputees, people that have been in a chair, or just different reasons, but he doesn't. Whatever he can do to help facilitate, so they can experience hunting as well. But he does an amazing job. So it's pretty.
Does he shoot?
Yes. Yes.
I've actually seen this setup.
He has shot an elk, a deer, turkey. You could probably explain. Someone looks through
Yeah,
his
so
scope.
he has a spotter. So he has a scope that's sighted in for him.
Yeah.
And he has a spotter that watches the monitor, and basically, kind of how I did in the military as a sniper. And a sniper, you got your can't talk, your spotter that will actually do all your calls and get you on site. His spotter watches through a monitor and says, "All right, go a little bit this way, go a little this way. All right, you're right on. Go ahead, squeeze that trigger." So, and he's such a damn good shot, which you have to be because he can't see what he's shooting at. He's literally taking the trust.
You
and
take
faith,
voice commands.
yeah, off someone else to give him that, and he's got to squeeze that trigger just ever so slightly because any variation of once that bullet leaves that barrel, you ain't putting it back in.
Yeah.
So, but that setup is pretty cool that he uses. So,
Yeah, that's like
It's
trying
amazing.
to put Genie back in the bottle. That's
Yeah.
not happening.
Nope.
But what he does, we're so blessed. We don't have bad days,
Yes, sir.
and it's awesome to have him come out with his group. So
Did you have any trouble with side by sides and those kind of guys? They seem to be problematic. Not all of them, I'd say, but 10%.
we
Need to be
we
put
did
in
we
some
did
kind
put a
of an
sign up that
asylum.
to park the side by sides, and that seemed to help a little bit. But there's always a knucklehead or two. But like we talked earlier, 95% of the hunters are great people. It's always ruined by that 5%. The ones that don't pick up their shells, the ones that drive and make dust where everybody's already set up, the ones that drive right in the middle of where someone is trying to teach their son, the first hunt, and they dust them out. That's the kind of stuff that just
Been there, done that.
just infuriates me.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And then when the ones that really get me mad are the ones that are rude to my family, especially my wife.
That's not a good thing.
No, no.
I told her no once. I'll never do that again. Yeah, and what I've learned about your wife is don't ask her, well, what are you thinking?
So,
Don't do
it's
that.
not actually the Don McDowell outdoor show. It's the Stacy outdoor show, huh?
Yeah. She lets me be here.
She gets your
Yeah, for
permission.
sure. So I'm seeing a picture of a blue truck in the one of the irrigation ditches.
For the life of me, I have no idea how that happened. It's a 30-foot road, and
30 feet wide.
30 foot wide, and
I've been down that road sideways.
right. And he was telling me there was too much dust, and he was trying to pass somebody, and
What?
he ended up in the ditch.
That's a farm road. It's
First
not
of
a
all,
racetrack.
I think he was trying to get ahead of somebody else so he could get the corner. I don't know, but
I mean, you and I have had some challenges.
but beyond me how he put this truck in the ditch, and we lifted him out and got him out of there. But it was and just so you know, he was so stuck that they had 2 trucks with winches trying to winch him out before I got there. And I said, whoa, guys, I don't care about your truck. I don't want you to hurt my ditch.
Yeah, really.
So no, seriously,
I'm seriously.
after 30 years, we finally got a new ditch, and here is this truck sitting sideways in our ditch and
On the concrete.
on the concrete. But what do we call that? Tuesday?
Tuesday.
Yeah, it was just Tuesday.
just
It was
another
just, it was
day.
just
It's
another
Tuesday.
Tuesday. It
Okay,
was-
we have our own rules. I learned this from Tyson. If you're having a bad day on Thursday, it's Tuesday.
It's Tuesday.
Because stuff that happens on Tuesday, you just can't make up.
No.
So,
That's true. It's true. But I mean,
But
he
there's
was-
tacos. Remember that.
yeah. And the thing that scares me is our days kind of mimic each other. I'm talking to him the other day, and he goes, "Oh man, that's what's the matter." He goes, "Just blew a trailer tire. I'll call you back." Week before, I go, "Oh man, I just blew a rear tire. I'll call you back."
but again, it's just you live in a rural area. Sometimes we might overload vehicles. We're on off-road situations. We have a 4-mile dirt road into the farm. we don't have the best paved road into our farm. So, yeah,
Yeah.
it's just part of it.
Okay. Did you have any visits from our favorite wildlife manager?
I did not.
TC?
I did not see Travis. I did see one of the trucks drive through, but I don't think it was him because Travis always stops and talks.
Yeah, but it's like I said before. I don't want to be a racist by any means, but they all look alike. I mean, you seen one, you seen them all.
Right. But I think he was a little.
Or I should say, you seen one, you seen Jamal. Whatever. Okay, come on.
There was. I know someone drove through, but I think he was busy taking care of some problems on my neighbor's farm.
Okay.
I know Painted Rock Ranch had some issues with some other hunters over there. So
Gee whiz.
don't know
Okay.
don't know all the details there, but
Always something.
always something.
Yeah. All right, we're going to flip into another break. When we come back, I want to talk to Stacy. I understand she had an encounter with some, what should we call them? A gentleman. Okay. We'll leave it go at that here at Fox Sports 910.
iHeartRadio app. Here's the Bass Daddy and Tournament Pro, Don McDowell.
All righty, we're back. Tyson, you kind of hit on something. We can count on about 10% of the people screwing it up for the rest of us that are out there trying to play by the rules and, be a conscientious sportsman. Do you have a problem with people picking up their spent shells?
That's my number one pet peeve. The shells go, they get in an alfalfa field or Bermuda grass field, and then when we'll rake them up and they end up in a bale of hay, and 90% of our hay goes to feed stores, and shotgun shells end up in a bale of hay.
I hadn't thought about that.
And then we have customers that say, "Oh," and thank goodness horses are smart enough not to eat them. They'll push them off to the side, but customers get mad because they're like, "Oh, don't buy hay from that guy anymore because his fields are full of shotgun shells."
Yeah.
It's unfortunate, but again, it's always just that one or two guys, and it's not one shell; it's a whole. It's the guy that missed, that used one box of shell per bird type of thing, and it's just unbelievable.
I know that guy.
I've been that guy, but I pick up my shells, and so the only and everyone's happy. Most people are they're happy to be out there. They say thank you. They're courteous, but there's always those couple of knuckleheads. But the one thing that's got me kind of miffed up lately is this app that's Onyx, I think it is, where people say, "Hey, look, this is state land. I'm coming over here." I'm like, I do rent 2 fields from state land, and I've been renting these things, and I have a lease on them. But you have to go through a private gate. You have to go through private land, and you don't have permission just to go out there and hunt. Oh no, this is state land.
Of course.
I'm like, "Sir, I understand that, but you don't have my blessing to be here." "Yes, I do. It's state." And I've gone round and round. I don't know if I'm right or wrong, but I'm maintaining it. I'm responsible for it. And
you control access.
And I've had enough of this app where everyone says, "No, this is where I'm at. You're wrong."
Yeah.
And that's getting frustrating.
The app is misleading, and 'cause you kind of hit it on the head. There's got to be some accountability, and I don't know if there's a conversation to be had with Onyx or because there's several. They're not the only ones that are doing overlap with federal, state, private land, and this, that, and the other thing, and then you get into another situation down there along I-8. You've got military land, which is a whole nother can of worms.
Yeah. You start involving federal land, that becomes a big issue, especially whenever you have shoot on site type of posting and stuff up in certain areas.
Yeah, we have those guys.
Now, as far as what you're talking about, the Onyx, having been a licensed hunting guide, I can tell you right now, your best bet is going to be to probably call Onyx and let them know, hey, this is what's going on. They're going to probably ask you to provide some type of information. So at that point, you provide them the lease from them, from the state and BLM and whatnot, and then they'll have to go in there and change it. Because if anything happens to anybody on that land, if they get hurt or something like that, they're going to probably try to come after you, but
That's the first line of defense.
Yeah, but the thing is, though, is because you're renting from the state and you told them that they couldn't be there, and because Onyx screwed up, as long as you go in and say, hey, this is what the deal is, and if anything, you can even give Onyx a cease and desist to stop showing that land is available for public use. And if they don't conform to that, then they're liable for anything that happens.
Well, there's a whole situation on landlocked parcels.
Yeah. Now that's only if that easement is required for that other individual going on to that land. Because I've dealt with that as well, having landlocked parcels. And yes, there's easements that are allowed, but if they're not utilizing his land that he's renting for easement only, and that's easement. That's not to hunt on. That's just for easement for driving through. But that has to be in.
No, do you have roads and gates that you have to pass through to get there?
Yeah, no. There's
private sector.
It's all private road to get to it. But I guess what's frustrating to me is when you pull up and you ask somebody, "Hey, can I help you?" No, get out of my way. Here's my app. I'm like, I don't care. I'm not Uber Eats. You're not coming here. Turn around and leave. I don't. All of a sudden everyone's an authority because they have an app, and
Yeah.
I'm like, guys, you drove
Yeah,
through
that's a problem.
a no trespassing sign, a second sign, a gate. You drove by a bunch of houses, some cows. There's 4 or 5 people working in this field right here. You're not supposed to shoot within so many feet of people working.
Oh, yeah.
There's
I mean, stupid is as stupid does.
Well, unfortunately, the law has nothing to do about
speaking
people
of that,
working, but it is
you had
dwelling.
a encounter with a gentleman that wanted to own the place.
I did. I was running, and somebody pulled up, older gentleman in a cute little Volvo, and I said, "Can I help you?" And
You sure it wasn't a Subaru?
no, it was a Volvo.
Hey, get over there.
Right?
She said it was a man, John.
Did he have a Starbucks tumbler and
No,
and
no,
Crocs?
I don't think so.
Okay.
No, but he said, "Oh no." I said, "Can I help you?" And he said, "No, I'm just looking around." And I said, "Well, this is private property." And he said, "No, I'm allowed to be here. Talk to the owner." And I said, "Really? Who's the owner?" "Well, the owner." I said, "I'm the owner." And I pulled a gun out of my backside, and I was like, "Listen here, you're trespassing." And they want to get confrontational and tell you they're allowed to be there. And so I said, "Well, where do you live? Can I come poke around in your backyard?" "Well, no, that's my backyard." "Well, my backyard just happens to be a little bit bigger than your backyard, and you're doing the same thing, and I don't like it." And so then you go to write down their license plate number, and then they really
get kind of testy.
Yeah, then they really get testy. And, "Well, why are you doing that?" "So that I can call the sheriff and he can remove you." Well, I'm leaving then, but I'm allowed to be here. I talked to the owner. Nope, I am the owner.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I guess you guys got to start keeping your deed in your back pocket from here on or something.
Right?
Well, he's got Tom on speed dial that drives the bulldozer. So, hey,
Yeah.
Tom, go Tom.
But again, 95% of the people are good people and follow the rules. It's these knuckleheads but they ruin it, and it just tests you. And
Yeah, but it's stressing everybody out. We're in the woods quite a bit, and what we're seeing with the side by sides and the ATVs and the attitudes. You can take that 1 out of 10 guy, and you can start a war up in 6B anytime you want to.
Don, I had some dental work done a couple weeks ago, and
Because of dove hunters?
Well, no, but because of dove hunters, when I was 14 years old, I
Biting his lip.
I still have 4
Apparently.
pellets in my cheeks. They show up on my dental X-ray. My dad and I were hunting right below McLandy Cattle Company in Welton, and there was a hunter that saw us walking down the road. We were done for the day, and my dad said, "Duck," and I just put my arm over my eyes, and I got my forearm full of pellets. My dad turned around, and his back was full, and I got some in my cheek, and they pulled 15 or 16 of them out of my cheeks, but I still have 4 pellets in my face that I show up on all my dental X-rays,
Right.
and that was just from dove season. Because
Hold him, Chase. We're going to get those out.
no, but I mean, it's just there's always that one guy,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and it ruins it for everybody else.
Yeah.
And maybe that's why I'm so worked up by dove hunters, because they actually shot me. I don't
Well,
know,
you
years ago.
you've gone to the excess on trying to be a good guy. You've got the sign-in box. Is everybody using the sign-in box, or
Everyone-
they just
yeah.
pull past it?
No, they'll sign in. The ones that sign in, follow the route, never have an issue. It's the one that don't sign in and just keep driving by because they have the Onyx app or they know where they're going, but they don't.
I'll tell you what, RC and I are going to bring you a big cable and some keep out signs. No hunting.
But I think we'd have to stop even further back because they don't know how to read. So it doesn't matter. And I'm not trying to be flippant or anything like that. It's posted. And Game and
don't
Fish,
care.
if they did a wonderful job of posting, putting the signs up for me. The ones that are going to be knuckleheads are going to be knuckleheads. And I hate to say it, they just need to be ticketed. But
Well, that's the problem. We don't have the enforcement. Where's your WM?
I mean, he's busy. I mean, he's got
What's
such
he
a
doing? Hauling water?
That's a
You-
conversation.
you wanna go down that road?
Not today, but
I was gonna
no,
say,
I wish he didn't have to.
No,
I wish he didn't have to.
They're not
haul.
WMs anymore. They're water haulers.
yeah.
But we have a great wildlife manager. We truly
He
do.
is the best.
He is hands down the best guy. But his area, I mean, he goes from Buckeye to Ajo to Dateland, all the way to Maricopa, Vico Valley.
Yeah,
How can one man cover?
you can't.
No.
It's just he has a full day job just going to one area. I mean that's such a huge area.
Well, RC and I have a joke. The stuff that we see out in the desert, you see it too. I mean, there's so many weird folks out there. Especially you go down to Vico Valley, you don't know what the hell you're looking at out there. I mean, there's people out there. It's 115, 120 degrees, and they're camped out in a Subaru, or some kind of a van, and for weeks and weeks and
Yeah.
weeks and weeks on end. You're like, what is going on? And there's nobody cares. The authorities do not care. The only ones here lately post the election, CBP, they've got some Mortel guys that come in with battle rattle and shake them up, find out what's going on, and if there's nothing's going on with immigration issues, they're gone.
Well,
And they're still there.
from my experience so far in the security industry, I've come to realize that law enforcement isn't there to stop things from happening. They're only there to investigate after it happens.
Yeah, that's right.
That's the problem, and that's where the security side comes into play. They're there to deter and prevent things, the best they can, and then law enforcement comes in after the fact to actually enforce the law. But the problem is the act has already been done for the most part.
Of course. Well stated. Yeah. But I'm
Agreed.
seeing a movement statewide. Gates that were open with the ranching community are getting locked for various reasons. And,
Yeah.
and this is part. You go over to Tonto Basin, I don't know how many head of livestock have been hit, killed, or have been put down because of side-by-sides using it for lap traffic over there. It's just crazy. But anyway, that's a story for another time. We got to flip into a break. When we come back, more with. Are we going to talk to Stacy again?
Absolutely.
Okay. Yeah, we'll be right back.
910.
All righty, we're back. With you changing gears, are you going to keep the retail store?
So
You know, kind of like an office front?
I'm going to turn it into an office mostly. I'll keep the Firearms Academy. I'll keep the sim trainer in there for the virtual reality because I utilize that for my armed guard training as well as unarmed for like de-escalation of force tactics because it goes through the virtual reality on the screen there with the laser guns and whatnot. The retail side, I'm not going to sell any more outdoor retail stuff. The whole reason I got in that in the first place because the Sportsman's Warehouse pissed me off, and I figured if I can, use my business license to get ammunition and outdoor equipment and sell it at a lower cost than Sportsman's and take care of people without having bad customer service.
Yeah,
I'd be
yeah.
happy. Plus, get all my stuff at wholesale value for my own personal use. So everything I sell, I've used, but. It's just like I said, being a small. To be honest with you, being a small business when it comes to retail is a lot harder because you got all these big, box stores that that you just can't compete with them, honestly. And I've had to turn people away for firearm sales because trying to deal with the ATF and FBI for the background checks and then the background checks. I had my FFL, I had my license, but
Do you still have it?
no, I surrendered it because I've waited for 6 months in the first place from applying to even get my license. And then I waited for another 6 months to even get a code that still never came in, that I needed a specific code from the FBI in order to do a NICS background check when I call in and say, hey, I need to do a background check. I'm like, oh, we need a specific code from you. I'm like, I don't have a code. I was never issued a code. I could do transfers for people that had CCW permits, but I couldn't give it to someone that didn't have a permit because your CCW counts as your background check.
Of course.
And I had several potential clients and customers come in and say, "Oh, that's a scam. You're just trying to get us to take your CCW class. That way we to get money off us to buy your gun." I'm like, no, that's not at all. I don't have a
Stupid
specific
is,
code
stupid does.
from the FBI. And I waited 6 months, and I said, you know what, the hell with it. I'm done dealing with the government. I'm done dealing with this, trying to keep, log on paperwork to keep them happy. So I called up the ATF and I said, look, come get my license. I'm done. I'm done dealing with you. You're not getting my money anymore. So, and that kind of hurt me on the retail side because guns is what everybody wants. And to be honest with you, right now, people aren't even buying guns because our president is a horrible gun salesman. The best gun salesman is a Democratic president.
Obama.
Yep. And
Or Nancy Pelosi.
yeah, and the ones that campaign, like what was that guy out of Texas that was running and it says
Betos.
Yep, coming for your ARs. When
Okay.
during an election, Democrats are the best gun salesmen. I'm bipartisan. I don't care. They're all crooks on either side. But
Bipartisan. Is that like being trans?
oh, we better calm it down there.
I'm sorry.
You're sure talking. Do you need to come out? Are you coming out of the closet today or something?
Yeah,
What's
you
going
don't
on?
know, man.
But
Yeah.
no, but yeah. So it's just right now gun sales are down, ammo sales are up. But thing is though is like I carry all the ammo that no one gets. Like I have 350 Legend, I have 454 SOCOM, I have 460 Smith and Wesson, I even have 50 caliber BMG.
Yo.
So I sell the ammo that no one else can find anywhere else at even the big name stores.
You got 300 Weatherby?
Yes, I do actually.
You do.
Yeah.
How many dollars a round is it?
I'd have to look on the box. I have so much stuff I can't keep track of all
Okay.
the costs.
Check
But,
that.
Yeah, I will. But yeah, like I said, I'm just trying to sell everything, get rid of the retail stuff. Eventually, like I said, once I get all my stock gone,
You got 223 or 556?
I have sold out of that. That sells out like that.
Boom, gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and that's kind of the hardest part. I mean, I could start stocking it again, but I wouldn't be able to honor the 50% discount on that.
Yeah.
Just because I'd lose so much money on that.
Yeah.
Because honestly, a lot of people, think that retailers make quite a bit on ammo, but they don't.
No.
Ammo, you're only making about a 3% profit margin. So for a box of 9mm, I'm making 70 cents per box.
Yeah.
So you don't make nothing on ammunition.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Got to sell a lot of boxes. All right, we got to step down on this first hour. Get this thing closed out. We'll come back more with our good friend Tyson and Chase. We're going to talk to Captain Bill on the horizon. They're coming back to port. We'll see what's going on, and I'll give you the update on the saltwater side of life. I'm Don McDowell. This is Fox Sports 910.
Don McDowell out.
Alrighty, we're back. As promised, we're going to talk to Captain Bill over on the Pacific headed to land. Captain Bill, what's happening?
What's going on, guys? How y'all doing today?
Well, we're sitting here telling stories, you know.
Oh, that's a good thing.
Yeah. So,
I'm
what's
cleaning
your
a bunk
story?
room. I'm cleaning a bunk room. I'm
Okay.
serious. I'm cleaning a bunk room.
Yeah. Well, that's wow. Yeah, I
I
don't
just
think.
got in from a 1.5 day, and pretty good fishing. You know, bluefin, yellowtail, whitefish,
Are you
cod,
on?
all the
Are you
above,
on
guys.
yellowfin?
No, we fish yellowfin for 2 days, for 6 days or 3 trips, 2 trips, 2 day and a half. It's not enough volume, dude. We got 40 boats fishing a 5-mile area. One boat gets lucky, everybody else drives around all day.
Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty typical.
It hasn't settled in yet. You know, that's all. It just hasn't settled in yet.
Well, we've been drawing a correlation between the monsoon and the yellowfin showing up, and we're seeing a few yellowfin on the dock count. The dock count for the 6th yesterday.
Right.
They had a few. They had 13 on the dock count out of 167 anglers. 8 boats out of H&M Landing. So.
Yeah, yellowfin fishing. I mean, we got them two hurricanes pushing water up from the south, which is pushing the fish this direction. You know, this yellowfin that we're seeing here the past 3 or 4 trips, it's that school yellowfin that I want to say 12 to 25, 30 pounders. And, you know, you find the right school, it reacts to the chum, it blows up in the, you know, in the chum line, but doesn't bite a hook. It just got here. So I'm saying maybe next week, middle of next week, something like that, you might start to see more of that in the fish count.
Yeah, we're seeing a couple of Dorados showing up, so you know things are changing.
Yeah, and I hope it. You know, it gets. I'm hoping it gets better and better. You know, as we get into the later part of September and in October there.
Okay, how many people did you have on the good ship Horizon this trip?
27. Yeah, we had 27 today. Or we left on Friday for a 1.5 day. 27 anglers will leave tonight on another 1.5 day with 27 anglers. The Malahini is doing a Veterans Village charter. Homeless veterans group that is here on Pacific Highway. And we do stuff with them every year, which is kind of cool.
Yeah. Yeah, that's always going to be interesting for sure.
Yeah, you know, I mean, it gives them guys, you know, that are going through stuff or got back from wherever they were and don't have it figured out. Gives them an opportunity to just shut their brain off and fish for a while, you know.
Nothing wrong with that.
And it's therapeutic, man. I ain't gonna lie, it's therapeutic.
Did you get into any bluefin of any size?
Say again?
Did you get into the bluefin?
Yeah, we had bluefin on this trip here. There was that, I want to say, 12 to 35-pound grade.
Yeah, that's a good grade.
Yeah. That bigger fish, nobody's located it. We've all been fishing Tanner and Cortez. Well, yesterday. We'll be back up there tonight, I'm pretty sure. All you got to do...
Is Malahini messing around down on the islands?
Say again?
Is Malahini boat fishing the islands?
No, she's fishing a 3/4 day local with Veterans Village today.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah. They're going to catch reds, and they had 3 sea bass yesterday. It was kind of cool. White sea bass, I think 2 25 or 30 pounders and 1 45 pounder.
Wow.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Yeah, that's all good. All right. What bits of wisdom do you have for the guys that want to come fishing still?
Guys, if you'd like to take a trip on the Horizon or the Malahini for that matter, you can go to hmlanding.com's website /Malahini for the Malahini /Horizon for the Horizon, and check our schedule. I know the Horizon, I think, has 3 spots open on one open party trip for September, and everything else we have is chartered.
Okay. Any idea how long this might go? I know you don't have a crystal ball and it's called fishing, but we're going to be fishing down into October, late October.
Oh, I think so.
Okay.
We start our 7 days on the end of the 20th of October.
Wow.
Fall fishing, Cedros Island, baby. That's going to be fun.
No, that's all good. We're going to wish you the best the rest of the weekend, Bill. You stay safe. God love you, man. Appreciate what you do.
Hey, guys. Don.
Yes, sir.
I'm still waiting for you, and
I got Tyson sitting right
now.
here.
We're supposed to go. I'm waiting for his Don to say get in the truck.
What's the deal?
I'm gonna leave that to Tyson.
Oh, you can't put this all on my shoulders, Don.
I'm just the pilot. That's all.
I'm game.
That'll work.
I'm ready.
I love your show, guys.
All right, you take care of yourself, Bill.
All right, you guys have a blessed day.
All right, you too. You can book direct with HorizonSportFishing.com or MalahiniSportFishing.com. We got to go.
I would really like to do that, but we've been waiting on the monsoon. That's what we've been talking about. So.
It's here. The yellowfin are here.
Tuesday.
Let me give you an idea. San Diego dock totals, they had 14 boats, 16 trips, because a couple of these boats are running AM, PM trips back to back. There were 410 anglers. They had 196 sculpin, 122 on the rockfish, 72 whitefish, 69 red rockfish. Those were all bottom fish, and then they topped out with 36 yellowfin, 23 yellowtail, which is way down, some calico bass, only 17 bluefin, a bunch of barracuda, and more bottom fish. So it's good, still good.
Just say when.
Okay,
you're in, right?
Hell yeah.
Oh, duh.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, ow, my leg! You're twisting it so hard.
Oh yeah.
Ow.
Yeah. Well, it's a good time of year. Serves two purposes: A, to get out of Dodge for a day or two.
Yeah.
And Bill's right. You just turn your brain off and go fishing once you get on the boat.
Well, he said it's therapeutic, and that's real.
It is.
When you're, it don't matter if you're catching anything. You're there with your thoughts. You're your own best therapist when you're out. Just being in nature in general. Whether you're hunting, whether you're fishing, or if you're just hiking. There's this thing called forest bathing. And I believe in it. Call me a hippie if you want, but I believe in forest bathing. That just you being out there to your own device, and either your own device or your own demise, one or the other. But either way, it's you.
Yeah.
So it is therapeutic.
Well, it gets a little challenging sometimes on these sport boats. Most of the guys are pretty good. You have back to the 10% rule. You got one or two knuckleheads on the boat, and it can get more than challenging.
Yeah,
and really push your patience.
Well, up in upstate New York, when I was stationed up there at Fort Drum, we'd go out down to this little town called Pulaski, all right off the Salmon Run. The Salmon River. When they had the Salmon Run annually, you're talking shoulder to shoulder. You couldn't people overcasting. I've seen guns being drawn. I've seen knives being pulled on people because of just how cutthroat it is, and I ain't talking about the salmon themselves. It's really cutthroat between the anglers out there.
Of course.
So, and then game wardens are out there up and down because you can't snag a fish, you can't grapple it, you can't net it. It's got to be caught by mouth, and it's like fishing like no other. So I can only imagine on a boat, get a bunch of people on a small little vessel with shoulder to shoulder, casting. That could probably.
Well, the biggest thing is, Bill's been doing this for a really long time. You go into the wheelhouse, you sign in, you get your number, and you sit down and shut up. There's a safety briefing which is important. And then there's a little seminar, if you will. They'll tell you what we're going to be doing, what rods and reels you need to be using for that particular condition or particular venue where we're going, and what the fish were doing the day before.
Yeah.
Which doesn't mean that's what they're going to be doing
Yeah.
when you get there. But I think probably the biggest thing is following your line, staying in front of your line, because you're in a drift continually. The wind's blowing, you got current, the boat moving, and you have to stay in front of your line. Stay in front of your line, and it's called the tuna shuffle. So everybody just shuffles around the boat, and a lot of guys don't get that. This guy will be up here. They like to go to the bow, and then their line will go clear to the stern, and you got 20 guys in there, hollering at this jerk.
Yeah.
I don't have a problem grabbing the line and cutting it, throwing it in. It's just like, no, I'm not dealing with this.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at the economics of it. You have the expense of going to and fro. You have the expense of the boat, your food, and all this. So you got $500, $600, $700, $800 tied up, and you got this jackass up on the front, not following his line. And if he catches a fish, he's going to snap somebody off.
Yeah.
I've had it happen too many times. So
Yep.
whatever. I got something came to mind. You were talking about shotgun shell calls being wrapped up in your hay. There was a thing on Instagram the other day. And I thought of you. It was a big, one of the big round bales, and it had a rattlesnake wrapped up and wired.
They bailed one up.
Yeah. You do that?
Occasionally, we've bailed up a snake or two. Yeah. So now, speaking of dogs, we have black labs. We love our black labs, and he has one job, because when we go out to bail, most of the time it's early in the morning.
Yep.
And a black lab will tell you where their snakes are, and for whatever reason, you parked the equipment the night before. At least 2 or 3 times a year, you'll go out there and a snake is either coiled up by the balers or by the rakes or where you're going to be, but they'll let you know where the snakes are, and that's all I need to know, because it's not, you don't get bit by the ones that rattle. It's the ones you step on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, my black lab a few years back actually stepped right on a rattlesnake and it didn't bite. So, and he didn't realize it was there. We got lucky.
No, but that's the dogs are pretty important to keep you safe.
Yeah.
So
You've had some weird dogs out there. But who belongs to the hound dog?
that's Betos. That's Humberto's.
Okay.
He's a great dog.
That dog's an idiot. God, I love it. Yeah. Anyway, we got to step down and flip into a break. We'll be right back. time of the day, we usually have Chris Rich from AZ Fly Shop joining us. They're over at 3254 East Cactus Road, just west of the Area 51 Highway. He's up fishing. Give you a quick rundown. September 10th, they have a fly fishing primer. It's a course designed to jumpstart the learning curve and get the beginner fly anglers headed out to the water. And then they've got on the 11th and the 18th and the 20th, so on and so on. They've got the fly tying meetup. But, if you haven't been there and you have a desire to learn to fly fish, or if you're an expert, go in and check out all the flies. And, they've got an awful lot of apparel, and that's the thing we've been poking fun at Chris. The fly fishermen, they've got the vest, and they got the pants and the shirt and the waders.
Be a man like Don and just go out there with rattlesnake boots and booty cutters.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah. You have to get some snake bite. Yeah, jeez. Shame on you. Stop. You got a birthday on the 9th.
You have a birthday on the 10th.
Yeah.
That's where I'm going.
Yeah, I'll be down at San Manuel with the cattle ranchers down there, and there's an awful lot of stuff going on down there.
That's a fun birthday.
So they've got a combined Winkleman and Reddington are having the NRCDs are having a combined meeting, quarterly meeting, and they're talking about the water protection fund grants and hopefully getting rid of some of the salt cedars.
That would be wonderful.
That's kind of what I'm thinking.
Be wonderful.
I think they're kind of overthinking it, because a box of road flares will take care of most of that. I'm just saying. I've heard people do that, but
you know what? Right now with everything being so dry and we're in the drought that we are, and I'm just thinking about the Rio Grande and how much water that's not going down there, and also on the Verde. People talk about the salt cedar, but we don't realize how much water is used by these cottonwoods.
it is crazy.
These cottonwood trees, and they're nice shade, but they're not a very good tree, and they're using a lot of underground flow.
Yeah.
And
Well, so are those salt cedars.
right, but both of them. But we have to. When you talk about a salt cedar, you have to talk about the cottonwoods, and it's a dual problem. And I'm not one who just wants to go cut down trees, but they're invasive species.
I'm going to give the cottonwoods a pass, but not the salt cedars.
But the cottonwoods use so much water, Don.
Oh, I know.
So much water.
I know they do, but
If you go down to Yuma, there used to be cottonwoods everywhere, up and down the ditch banks, and they realized how much water they were using. And to save the Colorado River water,
boom.
the irrigation districts went through and removed all the cottonwood trees because of how much water they transpire through those leaves. It's a pretty porous plant.
Yeah.
And it needs to be talked about. And I know it's unpopular because they're beautiful and they're pretty, but they're taking up a ton of water that we need in the desert.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
And the salt cedars need to be managed just as much as some of the wildlife.
Well, I hope they do something with that down there, and I'd like to see them. They've been doing a little shave and a haircut on the Gila where it crosses the 85. It's a drop in the bucket. I mean, it's, as far as I'm concerned, meaningless. The money that they're spending for the good that they're not doing. It's just, who comes up with this? I mean, they're right there by Luke Air Force Base. They got F-35s, they got A-10 Warthogs, they got napalm. A couple of passes with napalm. Clean that stuff out. Just saying.
Well, what I used to do in the military. I can show you how to make. Never mind, I'm going to stop there before I'm on the list.
That's brought to you by Ace Security. Yeah. You can reach Chase at 602.
480-708-1564.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
That sounds like a party time.
Oh, it is. Yep. Yeah, I could show you how to use an IV bag a small amount of plastic explosives and a 9-volt battery. I could blow the wall off this over here.
All righty then, back to you, Tyson.
You're gonna draw that up for us, right?
I can. It's
Okay.
brought to you by the United States Army.
Yeah.
But Don, whatever we can do to help get rid of some of those salt cedars, they're choking out the river. They're choking out any kind of grass that deer or cattle.
I just
would
don't
eat.
know where the state's. You know, we've got leadership in the state that has, trying to be polite, thought processes which need to be overhauled. And
Well, we keep electing them, Don.
no, we don't. Don't
Okay,
put me in that
you're right.
category.
You're right. We don't.
No, it needs to change. And, you know, with the administration change, we're seeing modifications to Arizona's governing behavior on a lot of fronts. Immigration's one. I mean, that's a big one, but it still needs to be overhauled correctly, which is coming. But, you know, as far as states management comes, I don't think DOJ went deep enough on a lot of these agencies. And my task today is spending my day off.
You get a
writing
day off?
Letters to Bureau of Land Management because of their behavior and inability to get NEPAs done where NEPAs aren't actually required. You know, I mean, we've got historic NEPAs and stuff already in place, and you know they won't get off their chair and go out and look at it. I mean, we're going into year 3 on this project that I'm working on down by Kearney. I mean, she needs to be fired. That's all I can say. And her boss. So I mean, I'm going to be following protocol. She'll get the initial email. Her boss gets a copy of it, and then there'll be a copy sent to Secretary Burgum at DOI, since they're that's where the buck stops.
I'm excited about Burgum, though. I really am.
I am too, but
Because he comes from North Dakota, level-headed. He understands how to manage resources. That's a great Rand state. And I'm biased because my kids go to school up there, but I think he's going to do a beautiful job with the Department of the Interior.
so far so good. A lot of the solar projects, July 14th, those were supposed to be stayed, but there's guys running around west of Arlington doing perk tests and all that kind of stuff. Do you have any idea what's going on? Have you seen them down by you?
Not down by me. We live by one of the largest solar plants right there off of I-8 that they have. They call it a solar plant, but it's not. They're using solar energy to heat up oil to store to make steam, which you're pumping water out of the ground in the desert, which is taking away from our water table. But they're not a solar plant. That's a cogeneration plant.
Can you
But
spell Soros?
I can't. But I don't think we should build any more solar plants unless you have a battery storage. You can't build one without the other, because at night, when the sun goes down, you have to turn up all the natural gas plants or the nuclear plants or anywhere else that's generating power, because everyone comes home at 6:30, 7 o'clock at night, and that's when the washing machines, the ACs kick up, people are cooking dinner, and everyone's power usage goes up.
Of course.
I know this has nothing to do with hunting and fishing.
Well,
but,
what it does is trash in the environment.
but it's not the best use of our grid, because all day long that grid is going up and down instead of staying consistent, and it's charging. And it all the way goes back to natural gas rates, because now you're having to buy more natural gas in the evenings to ramp up these. And so the only people that are making money are the people that are selling natural
Yeah,
gas.
well,
Most
and
of
it
the
does
stuff,
affect the aquifers, like you were saying too. The water table, which, like Don was saying earlier, what's the WM's doing? Is it wildlife manager or is it water manager at that point? You know,
Yeah, it's water
so if
management.
you're pulling that water from the aquifers, and like I said with the cottonwoods and the salt cedars, you got to relocate those. You know, either that or
Relocate?
relocate
Yeah,
or
turn
take
them into ashes.
Turn them into ashes.
or take. People will buy them, just like the Saguaro cactus. You know, people will buy them and put them in their yards. Let them eat their water bill. So
That'd be the Ace Salt Cedar store. Okay. All right, we got to flip into a break. When we get back, we'll talk to James Guggenauer, see what the department's up to, his take on dove season and the Mother Lake, see what kind of baits are working for the largemouth. I'm Don McDowell. This is Fox Sports 910. As promised, James Guggenauer, downtown Payson, where the weather is always nice compared to the valley. James, what's going on up there, buddy?
Hey, good morning, Don. It is fall in Rim Country. The low here last night was 58 degrees. I'm going to get up to about 80 today. Tonto Basin's a little warmer. Tonto Basin's low was 73, and they're going to get up to just under 100 today.
Mm.
But fall is definitely in. The elk are bugling. It just kind of feels like fall.
Do you have elk in your backyard yet?
We do. On a daily basis, elk travel through here. Where our house is located, there's just and it was there even before we built our house. We knew that there were game trails across this property, and they still use them today.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
Okay, let's get started. What's the report on dove season this year?
Dove season is looking good. Lots of reports of good counts, and the white wing now can be included in your counts. So I'm hearing good stuff. Now the quail is a little bit different. For those who listened to the commission meeting last week or last Friday, we had a good discussion on perhaps reducing the amount of quail in the seasons for this year due to so much drought in southern Arizona. The commission ultimately opted not to change any of the rules. So the good news is we're getting good reports for dove. The bad news is it's going to be a rough season for quail hunters.
Okay, that's not good news. That's not good news at all.
Mm-hmm.
Huh. Okay, what was the report for some of the other issues on revocations, that kind of stuff?
Yes, the revocations were pretty straightforward. We actually had a husband and wife team up here in Payson that opted to shoot an elk off their back patio.
What a novel concept. Sorry.
They managed to get revoked for 5 years.
Wow.
But that's always a bad part of the meeting. But the highlights of the meeting, I think, Don, for your listeners, is that we finally did our final step for rulemaking on Article 2, which was related to the use of crossbows in Arizona. As you know, Don, this has been a hot topic in Arizona for several years now.
Oh, yeah.
We've gone out with public comment 3 different times before we got to a final wording on this. The bottom line is that crossbows will be allowed during early archery hunts in Arizona, and that was the point of contention. However, the process that we use to be able to obtain a crossbow permit, because these are people that have some type of temporary or permanent disability, that's who they're intended for. We have greatly increased the requirements to obtain that permit. So an annual doctor update and some other things are in place, a better description of what the handicap needs to be. I think we talked about this before, Don. We had some people that were taking young children to a doctor's office claiming that they couldn't pull back a 30-pound bow because they're only 10 years old. And then they requested a permanent archery disability tag for the rest of their lives. So as crazy as that sounds, that was happening. So we ended that type of activity, and I think the commission unanimously voted for this, so we finally got that done. The second thing we did was the final notice of rulemaking for Article 4. This pertains to live animals that we have in the wildlife. So mostly like tortoises, our tortoise adoption program that we have at the Game and Fish Department, along with zoos and other wildlife agencies, how they have to report wildlife and how they have to manage wildlife. The commission also voted for our nominees for the commission awards. This is a banquet that the commission holds annually. It's every January. So the next one will be January 2026. We're really looking forward to that. We have some really good nominees this year. So I encourage everybody to check out the commission's banquet award, January 2026.
Okay, great.
You know, we also, Don,
Your fish stocking summer schedule is about to come to an end at the end of September. Any thoughts on the October stockings? I see Tunnel Creek is getting a lot of activity, along with some of the other, Fan Lake, Coldwater Lake, all that kind of stuff.
Yep, you are right. A very successful stocking season. This is the spring-summer stocking that you're talking about, along with our community fishing stocking program. And this time of year, we do start to wind that down. As everybody knows, it gets a little cold up north in the wintertime and not very conducive to trout stocking. But I wanted to share a great story for you, Don. At the Mogollon Sporting Association banquet, this was held in early August up here in Payson, one of the things that was raffled off was a full stocking of 700 tiger trout. And we let people bid on which lake they would choose to have 700 tiger trout stocked into. So we had a gentleman bid on this thing. The Mogollon Sporting Association wrote a check to for $11,000 that there were 700 tiger trout stocked this past weekend into Willow Springs Lake.
Really?
So now that's over and above the Arizona Game and Fish stocking. So this gentleman, this was his favorite trout lake, and so we got a great video that we'll have up on our MSA website. But what a great idea to have one person get selected. He made a nice donation to MSA, and we made a big deal about him and getting his trout stocked in there.
I would have guessed Green Valley Lake would have gotten 700 tiger trout.
Can I get a grant to build a lake in my backyard, and then I'll go bid on this trout for next year?
Yeah.
You know, we'll call it McDowell Thompson Lake. How about that?
Okay.
All right.
I like the idea. And then, Don, just one more thing for you. I heard you talking about AZ Fly Shop and Chris Rich earlier. One of the other activities that AZ Fly Shop is doing is their annual film festival. This is going to be September 28th at Moon Valley Country Club.
Oh, yeah. I only went down to the 18th. Yes, sir.
Yeah. It is a great event. I encourage everyone to go check out the AZ Fly Shop Film Festival. Tickets are available online, Moon Valley Country Club. Going to be a great afternoon, evening over there.
Outstanding. What do you hear on Roosevelt? Bob and I were over at Roosevelt. We had to go into Tonto Basin, the OBRC, and we're doing some stuff over there for the cattle ranchers and Embarque, so on and so on. But there was only 8 boats out that day. There was no ski boats, no wakeboard boats. We saw out of the 8, there was 1 kayak. We were over there a couple of different times. What do you hear on fishing?
So let me talk about the OBRC for a second before I go to that, because we were talking to the owner there, and Don, I want to tell you, she was very complimentary of the Southwest Ranch Supply and the help that you gave her personally delivering that stuff so that she could get some water flowing out there. MSA was glad to help with that operation. Roosevelt Lake. Yep, Roosevelt Lake sitting at 47% full. We are getting dangerous. It's dropping about 1% per week. The Salt River is only flowing at about 35% of its normal rate now, and the Tonto is not flowing at all. And both of those lakes, or both of those inlets right now, should have water in them, and they don't. So we need desperately moisture and rain up on the mountains. It's getting tougher down there. We're not seeing it in the fish necessarily because the fishing is still reported good. In fact, I talked to a guy who fished all night last night and said it was a great night out there. The weather was calm. There wasn't anything going on. It was too much. They did catch some nice fish using drop shots. Most people are using drop shots right now. Yeah, 15 to 25 feet of water, morning dawn, typical fall pattern, right? Fish the fall like you fish the spring. That's what we're kind of seeing happening right now.
Yeah,
So,
it was
a
interesting
good day if
to
you
look
wanna
at
go.
the positioning of the boats. There was, I'd say, 50-50 were fishing main lake points. The rest of them were tight to the bank.
Mm-hmm.
So,
So those main lake points, just for your listening audience, a lot of people know that there are artificial structures that have been deployed by the Arizona Game and Fish out there. That's what a lot of those guys are fishing right now because those structures will be absolutely holding water when the water is this low. So check those out.
just changing gears, how many WMs does the department employ? You know that?
Yes, there are around 300 WMs, 250 to 300 in that range.
Okay, outstanding.
And the
All
Game
right,
and Fish Department has a total of about 600.
Wow. So, who's your pick today for NASCAR?
Today's race on the number 5 car. This is his race to lose. Even Las Vegas
Yes, it is.
is saying that it's going to go. Hendricks Racing and Joe Gibbs Racing, each of them have 3 cars in the top 10 rows. But I'll tell you, putting that number 5 car in the front row on the outside, look out, brother. It's going to be fast.
Yeah, he'll set sail. He's carrying good speed. The other 2 guys that may be in contention, actually another Hendricks car, the 24, Byron, and then you get down into Christopher Bell in that 20 car, and then Busher in that 17. They've been making some pretty good noises, so I wouldn't be surprised. And then we can wish Denny Hamlin a flat tire, and of course Bubba. Hope he stays with his namesake, Wally's.
Don, I anticipate your text every Sunday afternoon on the race, so always fun.
Okay. God love you. I appreciate your participation. You take care, and our best to everybody in downtown Payson. James Guggenauer doing a great job as a commissioner, and builds a pretty good fishing rod at Rim Country Custom Rods. So we're going to flip into a final break here at Fox Sports 910 with Tyson and Chase, and get this thing wrapped up and get on with the day.
For more information about
You're back. I want to thank our guests, both you guys. Chase, thanks for coming down. I know you had a tough night. Tyson, you have a week of Tuesdays like no other.
I'm a blessed man, Don. I'm blessed.
Yeah, you are. Have all your calves dropped down there?
We still have a few to go. We still have a couple to go. But yeah, no, it's a fun time. We do have one that's that Humberto bottle feeds twice a day because Mom hasn't quite figured it out. But we're
Oops.
yeah.
We have 3 baby kittens that we bottle feed every 2 hours if anybody wants some kitties.
Nice. You're such a good mom.
Oh my gosh, I'm so tired.
I just sent you some pictures of a set of twins that were in an irrigation ditch. They were deer, and the mom was freaking out because she couldn't get them out, and so she sat there and watched, and we helped them out of the ditch. And
You're a good dad. Yeah, you're going to be right up there with Don Pelfrey. I think he's known. This will blow your mind. He's down in Yuma, in Region 4, and if a deer goes in the canal, he goes in after it.
Yeah.
They rope him and pull it out, but there are several times he's given deer mouth to mouth, and that's his little claim to fame.
That's cool. I'm a little bit different. I'd probably slap an orange collar on it and throw some corn out and wait till hunting season, and then have me some.
That's
some
480.
some venisonville.
Yeah, you're gonna have Travis Clarkson looking for you, boy.
Well, luckily I don't live around any drainage ditches or irrigation canals, so I ain't gotta worry about that. But I do actually want to have a pet deer. That'd be so cool to have gotta be a doe though, because during the rut, bucks will actually attack humans, men especially.
Try it. Yeah, bring it.
Yeah, and then Travis will be after you.
Whatever. Yeah, they don't have to worry about it. Game and Fish has seen that I don't need a deer tag this year, or an elk tag, or a buffalo tag, or an antelope tag. I do have a turkey tag.
Yeah. I didn't get drawn for nothing.
Sometimes.
4 years in a row. Zip.
Yep. Yeah, Jim Lawrence and I have a duck hunt coming up in Kansas.
Kansas?
Yeah.
Duck hunt?
Yeah.
Oh, that's gonna be great.
Ducks and geese.
What part of Kansas?
Couldn't tell you, don't know.
Let's say, 'cause that's where I'm from. I'm from that area. I got family out in Eureka and Piedmont.
I'll let you know. These guys, we see them every February up in Salt Lake City at the Western Hunting and Conservation Convention. This year, we were able to obtain 2 elk tags, a sheep tag, and an antelope tag from the Wallapai Indian Nation that are going up for auction.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and all that that money goes on the ground for habitat. And
Well, if you're going out there to duck and goose hunt, you might as well not stop there, because Kansas actually has a nickname when it comes to hunting birds. It's called. Gotta make sure this is PG for the radio.
Yeah,
but,
okay, clean it up.
Home of the giant birds,
Yeah.
of the male nature.
Yeah.
Their pheasants out there are great because Kansas is calcium-rich soil. So they have huge pheasants out there. So when you go out there, you'll actually see clothing that says "Home of the Giant Cocks" because that's
Okay.
all the pheasants that they have out there.
Yeah, that's fair. How does that compare to North Dakota?
Don't know, but I'll tell you on October 12th.
October 12th.
That's when Robert, my father-in-law, and I, and our son, and Rob.
Yeah, we're gonna start doing some planning.
You're welcome to come.
I'll do my absolute best.
So.
We're getting into the time of year right now with the funding kicking loose on the water projects and that kind of stuff. It's getting really busy. I don't know how in the hell I'm going to live through next week. I got 1 truck, 1 trailer, and 47 deliveries to make all over the planet.
Just throwing them booty cutters. Go out there and shake it. You get some help.
I'm thinking Carpart, bibs, booty cutter. Come on.
Just go next door to Q's Taylor.
Yeah.
I know they're good.
Yeah, she'll fix you right up.
Oh yeah, she puts all my patches on all my uniforms.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, she does a good job over there. Anything to add on your behalf on dove season protocol? Just a public service announcement.
You know, I welcome everybody to go hunting, but pick up your shells and be courteous to everybody else. And don't be like the lady at the baseball game in Philadelphia the other day. Let the kids hunt.
yeah,
You know, the lady that took the foul ball away from the little kid. Let the kids shoot the birds.
That is so bad.
I'm being serious. So,
Yeah, I know you are.
Yeah.
I mean that it makes me. I really get excited when
She
you
was
see.
a Democrat.
I'm sure she was. I'm sure she was. But
yeah.
A good Republican would have thrown the ball back to the catcher.
no, he would have given it to a kid.
Yeah.
Oh, I
That's
know.
the rule.
I'd
That's
be
the
the
rule.
smart aleck.
And nothing makes me happier when you see, or when I get to hear stories about, you took your son hunting for the first time.
Yeah, that's up there with a lot of the NASCAR guys. They go over and they get the checkered flag and they stick it back through the fence and give it to a little kid. It's pretty awesome. So anyway, thank you guys for coming down. We got special guests next week, grand opening to talk about. And if you're out there hunting, be safe. Be sure to watch the weather and watch where you're snapping, because the snakes are they don't like the monsoon. They need to get dried out, and they get in a bad mood. So check us on Instagram, Facebook. Check out huntingfishing.com, southwestranch.com. I'm Don McDowell. Take your kids fishing, hug your bass boat, and yep, we're out of here.
Don McDowell, Outdoor.